There is a story circulating deep within the spiritual community world that sounds less like history and more like an episode of the X Files, okay? According to this lore, Hugo Chavez had possessed a mysterious red book connected to secrets far older than modern Venezuela. Some version of this story claimed that the book was tied to a hidden entrance into what believers describe as hollow earth. According to let's go down this rabbit hole, okay? Now, Chavez supposedly guarded this knowledge with an utmost unbreakable determination. But what happened when the person holding the secret dies? And the people who inherit the secret suddenly find themselves standing at the center of a geopolitical storm. The story get even more stranger. When within the believer community, they connect alleged Red Book to Maduro and Vice President Dolce Rodriguez. According to what's circulating, the claims Maduro, when he was captured, he's he handed over the Red Book. Somehow, this information had opened the door to forces that had previously been kept outside. And within the spiritual communities, many people interpret this as handing over of something much larger than a physical objects. They believe access to an alleged portal connect to inner earth was also transferred. Whether any of this is factual, is this physically, is another question directly. Keep in mind, we're doing spirituality. You guys are big kids here, right? I don't claim to be your master teacher. I don't claim to be your spirituals. I don't claim to be your lakai, because I'm Haitian. We call it lakai. I don't claim to be that. So because of that, I have to protect myself. We're doing big girl thing, big boys thing, right? Y'all big kids. Let me keep going with this, okay? Because the evidence lived primarily in the world of spiritual. Okay, so here we go. More protection. The spiritual law, the lore, the conspiracy narrative. Um, then comes the word that makes. Let's go down this rabbit hole, people. Go even deeper. The alliance. Now, I know you guys have been hearing a lot about the alliance. Some people call them the white hats, believing that they represent a hidden faction supposedly fighting the force they consider negative or controlling. They claim the Draco reptilians have been pushed out of this galaxy and that humanity is finally being liberated from an ancient hierarchy. They say that the old masters are disappearing and the laboratories are being exposed. The people allegedly connected to the system are suddenly realizing that nobody's coming to rescue them. But there but here is where I start asking questions. All right, big kids, big boys, here I go. Okay? I'm gonna ask some questions here. Because if we have because have we learned anything from history? It is that changing the name of people holding the key doesn't necessarily mean the system has changed. What if the story we have been told is incomplete? What if the people call the alliance is not necessarily the savior they believe it to be? What if one faction simply replace another faction while humanity celebrate the transfer of power? What if the Draco story, the reptilian story, the laboratory being story, and even the Whitehead story are pieces of a much larger narrative that humanity has not yet learned how to verify? I'm not saying that I'm not I'm not saying that is what's happening, but I'm saying that when someone tells me trust us, we are the good guy, my first response is show me. Because humanity has a serious problem that nobody wants to discuss before we start talking about meeting the advanced neighbors. We can't meet the advanced neighbors until we have matured. We're still fighting over color, creed, nationality, ancestry, birthplace, language, social class. We fight over who belong, who looks beautiful, who looks ugly, who is too dark, who is too light, who is too tall, who is too short, whose hair is acceptable, whose nose is acceptable, whose teeth are acceptable, and even whether somebody has freckles or pimples. We have somehow turned the human body itself into a battlefield where people are constantly being measured against somebody else's definition of perfection. Then we look toward the sky and say we're ready to meet beings more advanced than us. Ready for what? This is what scared me for us in this dimension, man. Everything I just listed here now. Huh? Yo. Okay, let's keep going down this rabbit hole. I just want to put my, like, whoa, slow down with this. Y'all can't be out here talking about y'all want to galaxy travel, y'all want to jump in other portals and stuff. We have some things we need to iron out here, people. Real serious things we need to iron out here now. Now, what happened when we go meet the neighbors? And some of these neighbors are not palpably pleasant to our eyeballs. What happened if we happen to go in one of these dimensions and we go in there and everybody, I'm just saying a figure of speech, there's many dimensions and portals and many galaxies and many universe. What happened if we go through these things, people? And then we go in a place where they are all cockroaches. What if we go, they all are worms? What if we go, they all are maggots? What if we go, they don't quite look humanoid like us? What do we do then? We know what we treat each other. Could you imagine we go into a beautiful dimension and everything is like roach like, but they can talk? What do you think we're gonna do? We're gonna go, we're gonna start stumping in them. We're gonna realize that we're taller, we're stronger, we're better. What do you think will happen to those poor things? You know. So what I'm saying here, we have not even figured out how to coexist with beings already standing beside us. We exploit one another. We manipulate one another. We invade one another. We impoverish one another. We discriminate. We discriminate against one another, and then we congratulate ourselves for being technologically advanced. We have weapons capable of destroying civilization, while millions of people still struggle to find dignity in security. We are digging deeper and deeper into the earth, extracting its resource faster, poisoning the ecosystem, treating the planet like an unlimited warehouse. So, why exactly are we rushing to introduce ourselves to the neighbor? Is beyond our own planet. I'm like, y'all, slow down, Cass. Y'all killing me here, man. Maybe the first contact humanity need is not extraterrestrial contact. Maybe it is human contact. Maybe we need to finally look at one another without immediately asking what category someone belongs to. Maybe we need to mature enough to understand the difference doesn't automatically mean danger. Maybe we need to stop treating unfamiliar faces, culture, belief, and features as something that needs to be conquered, corrected, marked, or controlled. And that brings me back to the spiritual rabbit hole. If there are really beings, which I know they are, but I know that there are civilization dimensions and other intelligence far more advanced than humanity, then perhaps the greatest question is not whether they exist, perhaps the question is whether humanity is emotionally, spiritually, morally mature enough to encounter them. Imagine meeting a civilization thousands of millions of years ahead of us, which there are many, many, many of them, many dimensions um, ahead of us, while we still fighting over skin color borders. Imagine possessing advanced technology without possessing advanced wisdom. That could be the greatest danger of all. Because advanced technology does not automatically produce advanced consciousness. A civilization can build extraordinary machine and still behave like a child with machete. It can travel further while understanding itself less. It can communicate across galaxy while failing to communicate across neighborhoods. And if the story about hidden beings and secret civilization um, are completely right, but let's go ahead and play devil's advocate. What if they're completely wrong? Just plain devil advocate, people. The lessons don't matter because the problem we're facing on Earth are real enough without adding imaginary enemies to the list. Now consider another possibility. What if the greatest deception is not that Draco disappear? What if the deception is convincing humanity that it must constantly wait for someone else to rescue it? One story says the Draco control humanity. Another said the White Hats will save humanity. Another said benevolent ancestral beings are coming. Another said hidden civilization beneath the earth are waiting for the right moment. But somewhere in the middle of all these stories is a human being sitting here on earth asking, when are we going to when are we going to take responsibility for ourselves? This is part of the rabbit hole that interests me the most. Not whether somebody can prove a portal exists beneath Venezuela, not whether a red book contained dimensional coordination, not whether the alliance has defeated some hidden reptilian fraction. The deeper question here is whether humanity has become uh, fascinating with escaping this world that we have forgotten. We are responsible for fixing the world we already have. Maybe the doorway we need to open first is not a portal into another dimension, but a portal into our own collective maturity. Um, I'm getting ready to close this out. As you guys know, my channel is dedicated to two taboo subject, which is spirituality and Haiti. You'll be hard pressed to find a lot of things about spirituality and also Hades. So those are my two subjects. I just wanted to put a name on this because I hear you guys. You guys are my audience. You know, I'm very happy. But I do have people reaching out to me saying, Manishka, when you're talking about spirituality, can you put the title that I know is spirituality? I'm okay with you with, that you said those are the two things that you're trying to talk about. You can still do your little Haiti thing. We don't mind. But when you're doing your spirituality thing, please put a name on it. So because the person was like, that's really what they they've listened to all my spiritual thing, all my content, and then they say they listen to them over and over again. So this is for this person that really asked me to do this. So anyway, so there it is. And I also want to let you know here, and I'm gonna keep going down this. Also, let you know I don't profess to be your master teacher, your laku, your covenant, your clove, your your temple, your law. I don't profess to be none of this. Okay, I just put stuff out there and I would love for you to make it decide for yourself. I'm not here to tell you what you should believe in, what you should not believe in. Okay, we are in the time of Aquarius. Only thing that can be done in the time of Aquarius is just the truth is presented to you. And after you've listened to the truth and you've done your research and you believe in whatever the hell you want to believe in. I'm not here to control that. Okay. So in Chris, nobody thought patterns control. Nobody belief system is control. You believe in what? Whatever the hell you want to believe in. Okay. So 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 the story about the old master is gone and the white have arrived. The portal has been transferred. Humanity is entering into a new era. I want you to stop for a minute. Do not automatically believe the story. Do not automatically dismiss it neither. Examine it, question it, separate what can be demonstrated from what is spiritually belief and who benefit from you believing the story. Because if humanity really is approaching some kind of greater encounter, the most important preparation may not be learning how to open the portal. It may be learning how to stop destroying everything on our side of the door, people. Please stop destroying our dimension. Maybe before we meet the neighbors, we need to become better neighbors ourselves. Maybe before we explore another dimension, we need to understand the one we are standing in. Maybe before we search for beings more advanced than us, we need to prove that we are capable of becoming more advanced our own damn self. Stop the hate, people. Stop greed. Stop prejudice. Stop violence that keep repeating throughout our history. And if someday humanity does discover that the universe contains civilization, dimensions, intelligence beyond anything we can imagine, I hope the first thing we see when they look at us is not a species begging for rescue, but a species that finally learning how to coexist. Until then, please, please, let's just try to evolve here, man. I think this is very dangerous. Trying to talk about y'all gonna go meet advanced being and y'all not even advanced. Y'all not even mature your own damn self. I'm like, oh, they gonna meet who? Who they meeting? They go sit their tail down with that foolery. But anyway, that's just me. My name is Manushka Jessica host of Luco T Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me. Please like and subscribe, comment. And I know that you guys have heard about the Red Book and the Hollow Earth Theory. So this is one of it. So I'm going to drop it. I'm going to leave this here. And yeah, please like and subscribe, you know, and let me know if you like this format when I am just focusing on this spiritual part of things. Please like and subscribe. Bye.